In a world where every structure tells a story, one name has been crafting narratives of success for 100 years, C.E. Gleason Constructors. For a century, we've been the general contractors of opportunity, the builders of dreams. From retail developments to state-of-the-art industrial complexes, real estate developments, and senior living communities. Our legacy is defined by the diverse portfolios of projects we've brought to life. With a commitment to craftsmanship, we've transformed visions into reality. Here's to 100 years. Let us help you expand your business. C.E. Gleason Constructors, building visions and turning dreams into reality.
Welcome to Pickleball, Michigan and Beyond, a show that explores the people, players, places, and most importantly, communities that make up pickleball in Michigan and around the world. Here's your host, Tony Conley.
Welcome to Pickleball, Michigan and Beyond. I'm your host, Tony Conley. Thanks so much for joining us. Benjamin Robinson is our producer extraordinaire. We appreciate him so much. Got a great guest today. He's a pro. Connor Mogle comes from the Jackson area, and he's been kind enough to join us today. We're going to learn all about his pickleball career, where he's at and where he's going. Connor, how are you?
Hey, I'm good, Tony. Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Hey, I appreciate you being here. All right, so take us back to where you grew up, high school to where you are now.
Yeah. So grew up in Jackson, like you said. Attended Lumen Christi High School, and did 4 years there and played a couple different sports. Played tennis, obviously, and then hockey in the winter, and then baseball in the spring. So yeah, really enjoyed the time there. Won a baseball championship there, actually. So that
Awesome.
was also a lot of fun. Yeah.
Awesome. Did you say Lumen Christi?
Yep.
Yeah, and historically, that school's been known for athletic prowess, so that's a pretty cool deal. So, what happened when you graduated from high school?
Yeah. I ended up deciding to play tennis and went to Spring Arbor University. So did my undergrad and also a master's there. So played a couple years of tennis, and then COVID happened. And then I was kind of trying to figure out what to do next, and figured I had a few extra years of eligibility. So I went ahead and did an MBA there as well at Spring Arbor. So I played about 5.5 years of college tennis, which was awesome, and had a great experience there. A lot of my best friends are from Spring Arbor.
So you graduate from Spring Arbor, you've got your master's degree, played a lot of tennis, the world is your oyster. Where did you go from there?
Yeah, so I graduated with an accounting degree in my undergrad. So I took a job up in Grand Rapids, which is where I currently live now, and decided to kind of go down that route. And while I was there, obviously Grand Rapids has a great scene for pickleball. When I first moved there, I started playing like 4-5 tennis, and still wanted to play tennis and was all about it. And then kind of realized that pickleball might be the next thing, when there weren't a ton of tennis players that I could kind of have fun with and play with. There was just a lot more good pickleball players there. So I started playing about a month after I moved there at Belknap Park. And that's really how I got into pickleball, is just playing locally at the park on the challenge court at Belknap.
Connor Mogle, who now resides in the Grand Rapids area. Connor, a lot of the folks that I have spoken with who have a tennis background got into pickleball. Talk a little bit about that transition and what's that like?
Yeah, I mean, tennis is a great sport to start out with. I think, there's so many great aspects to it, and it makes playing pickleball a lot easier if you've even hit tennis balls for a year or played a year of high school tennis. So I think it really helps a lot with the ground strokes from the back, from the baseline, and then also hands at the net. Tennis players usually have pretty fast hands, and you really need that in pickleball to be successful. So It gives you just a really solid foundation, but in order to kind of, I guess, rise up the levels of pickleball, you definitely need to change a lot of aspects of your game. And that's where kind of drilling and playing lots of matches comes into play because um, while having a tennis background is great, it can only take you kind of so far. Uh,
So what tennis habits did you have or experience that you had where you had to change that so it would fit pickleball?
a lot of the angles are so much different at the net. I mean, the court's obviously, way smaller. So, I was trying to put away volleys and they're going, 2 feet out. And so the angles are a lot different. I think also a lot of the launch angles are different on your ground strokes. So when the ball is coming off the paddle, it can be a lot flatter or can go a little bit higher than depending on your racket that you use and the paddle that you're using. So those are very different. And I mean, you do have to soften up the game some as you're getting to the net. Um, I think a lot of tennis players really try to hit a little bit too much through the court. I think the power in pickleball is great, but you do have to soften up the game once you get closer to the net for sure.
So Connor, you started playing pickleball, you're having fun, it's rec, it's going great. When did you know that, you know what, I can take this maybe to the next level?
Yeah, I mean, I obviously love to compete, and so I, you know, a couple of my friends played in some pro tournaments. Nick Romano, who's a guy I play a lot with, had played in a few, and also Chris Walker had played in a few. And I played a few times with those guys, kind of at the end of 2022 and beginning of 2023, and they were kind of starting to play some pro tournaments a little before that time. So um, I kind of decided, well, it'd be fun to go check it out and see, you know, how I stack up, and it would be a good thing to sort of train for and work towards, similar to people that are, maybe running a marathon or doing a triathlon type of thing. So yeah, at the end of 2022, beginning of 2023 is when I kind of decided, all right, I'm going to kind of start drilling a little bit more and take it a little bit more seriously and just try some pro tournaments and have fun with them. And yeah, that's really the genesis of it all.
Connor, what is your duper rating and how have you seen it climb since 22?
Yeah, I think I'm at like a 5'8" in both singles and doubles right now. Um, I think, in 22, I think I was probably around a 5'0" at the beginning. And so um, it's it's definitely interesting. I mean, I've heard Ryler DeHart describe it as like it's a game that has a bunch of different levels that you have to kind of beat, versus tennis, where I think you're making a little bit bigger strides, but there's also a lot of levels. So in pickleball, there's a lot of small levels that you have to rise through, and I'm still working on a lot of those areas of my game to kind of get to the next level. But the levels take a while to beat as you get higher, and so I think the duper has definitely risen, but it's definitely one of those things that you just need a lot of matches and a lot of experience playing to beat a lot of high level players. And so, yeah, it's definitely been fun.
Connor, a couple times you've mentioned drilling. Last week we had on Carl Pollack, who is a professional instructor for pickleball, and he talks about that a lot. People kind of get frustrated because they don't get better, but you have to drill. Tell us about how often you drill and what are some of the things you like to do?
Yeah, so I'm trying to drill probably about 5 to 6 days a week. And usually in those on those days, I'll at least have one session, maybe two sessions. If I can get two sessions, I'll do an hour and a half to 2 hours of doubles, and then an hour and a half to 2 hours of singles. Um, in my double sessions, it's a lot of boring stuff. Like we're dinking for 45 minutes, and we're playing kitchen points for you know a number of games, and then we're hitting drops and resets and trying to work our way to the kitchen line, and doing a lot of hands battles and things like that. So all of the sort of meat and potatoes for doubles is really important to do in every session, um, because the reality is you're hitting a lot of the same shots, so you just have to work on them all the time. And for singles, it's a lot of ground strokes, movement work, and serve, return, and a lot of like combinations. So serve plus one type things. And the singles is a little bit more focused on fitness, whereas in doubles, you're more focused on kind of like the technical aspects of your shots and kind of grinding out long points, I would say.
Connor, a lot of folks don't want to do the work or don't enjoy the grind like that. Do you? Do you enjoy that drilling?
Yeah, no, it's great. I have, we try to pump music and have some fun, and play lots of games because it can get boring, and I definitely understand where that comes in. But I think you got to keep it interesting, keep it fun by playing games and trying to work on different things that you maybe don't work on. So having some time maybe at the end where you can spend 15 minutes hitting a certain shot that you want to work on can keep it fresh and interesting. And yeah, I think just trying to keep it fun and keep it light, is the only way that you can kind of do it day in, day out.
Connor, what is the difference between your game and, say, the number one ranked player or the number one ranked team in pickleball?
Oh gosh, there's probably a lot, but I mean they're ultra consistent. They read their opponents really well. So they know where their opponent's paddles are and where they're going and where they can speed up. They have an incredible ability to place dinks at the net. They just can put the ball pretty much anywhere. Their defense is also super outstanding. I mean, they can be 3, 4 feet behind the baseline with a team smashing the ball at them, and they can still wind up at the net. So those are a couple things. Like I said, like there's a bunch of small levels, and it doesn't feel like the gap is very big, from where I am, but they have sort of conquered so many of those levels that the gap is there for sure.
Who are some of the best players you've either played against in Michigan or seen play in our state?
Yeah, in Michigan, I mean, we have the Beer City Open every year, which is a great event. So all the top players are there. So, from Ben Johns to Anna Lee, that's a great event to check out if no one's been there already. But in Michigan, as far as the players that live here, I drill a lot of times with Andrea Coop. She's awesome, top player on the PPA. We have my partner, Nick Romano, who's really good in the Ann Arbor area. You have Casey Cullen in Detroit, who's also really good. I believe silver medalist in the APP. You have Ian Yee, Mariano Ye in Ann Arbor. Mariano is a singles medalist at APP as well. You have Sam Khalid up in Brighton, and so many other players. Lucas, Chris, a lot of players on the east side are great. I'm probably forgetting some names, but yeah, there's so many good players over there.
Where does Michigan rank in pickleball as far as players, as compared to the rest of the country?
Yeah, so I mean, we don't have too many like top end guys. We don't have too many, like PPA top players within like the top 50, I would say. But we have a really solid crew of, like I would say ranking wise, like 50 to 150 of guys. So we have probably half a dozen guys that would kind of fall into that category. And so it's really good in that aspect. A lot of players that I see at tournaments are really kind of jealous of what we have in Michigan because they don't have anyone that's kind of in that range. They might be the only player in their state that's in that range. So we do have a really solid contingent of that, a couple more like really top end players, but we do have a solid crew of 5'5" to 5'8", 6'0" type guys that are not necessarily at the top, but are really solid players.
Connor, do you have a welcome to the professional ranks moment where you were playing and it was like, whoa, this is some serious stuff? Did you have one of those moments?
Um, I mean, my first pro tournament, I got smoked in singles pretty bad. So I think I lost like 1-1 or something in qualifying, and I was like, wow, I have a lot of work to do. But I just had another moment of like, I'm not at quite this level yet. I played in the Lifetime Singles Open last weekend and lost to Connor Garnett in 3 very easy games, and he smoked me pretty good, and I haven't been beat like that in singles probably since that first match, honestly. So a long time. And yeah, that was like, wow, this is not good. I didn't play my best pickleball, but I don't think I was going to win that match.
So
I wasn't playing the best.
what was your mindset after that match was over? What were you thinking?
I mean, I was really mad. I did not play my best at all, and so I was mad that I really didn't give it kind of my best effort. I felt like my preparation was really good. I felt good walking out on the court, but I felt like I really didn't execute that well, and so yeah, I was really disappointed, I guess. And so, I mean, it's definitely good to get those losses in because, I can't ever let that happen again. I should be hanging with those guys and at least getting some games on those guys, and I'm capable of beating guys like that. So, just can't let that happen again.
Yeah, Connor, there's always a bigger fish, isn't there?
Yeah, for sure.
Talk about some
Yeah.
of the best facilities in our state that you've been to, where the facilities are great and they may even have amenities. You can watch the game, you can have a beer, you can get food, and the pickleball facilities and locker rooms and whatnot are great.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, as far as outdoor facilities, it's hard to beat Belknap. It doesn't have a ton of the fancy amenities, but the courts are incredible. They do a great job keeping them painted, and the lights are awesome. So there's nothing that beats like a summer night out there just playing some rec. I think that's my favorite venue. I also teach a lot at All In, so a shameless plug for All In Pickleball Gym in Byron Center and Rockford. So their courts are also incredible, just got resurfaced. They have some nice amenities as well. But I think, All In might be one of the nicest in Michigan. Brighton Pickleball Club comes to mind. Also one of my favorite places to play. They have all the food and the beer, and they have a super nice bar right there, so you can watch all the play. So that's where the Michigan Pickleball League was hosted this past year. So another great spot. And then yeah, I think there's, a number of great venues over on the east side. I've been to Bash as well. So that's a great spot. And then also a plug for Crossroads Pickleball in Jackson, my hometown. I like to hit there quite a bit when I'm home, and it's a nice facility. They did a great job on the courts, and yeah, it's a good spot, like downtown Jackson.
How about nationwide? What are some of the better facilities you've been to?
Yeah, so I mean, the Lifetime that was where the Lifetime Singles Open was played was incredible. Had all the gym and amenities that are really nice for players to have right there. So that was great. Also, where the last challenger that I played at was Little Rock, Arkansas, Little Rock Athletic Club. Super nice. Had everything as well. Had all the cold plunge and Normatec stuff that you could imagine, and a lifetime in San Clemente, California comes to mind as well. Super nice outdoor kind of gym setup, and then it's just set right in the hills of San Clemente, so beautiful views and nice breeze coming down the hillside. That's one of my favorite spots. And then also in Arizona and Mesa, there's a facility, Legacy, with I think it's like 60 courts. So the USA Pickleball Nationals were there last year. That's an incredible spot as well with the amount of courts that they have.
We're talking with professional pickleball player Connor Mogle. Connor, what's the best showing you've had at a tournament?
Yeah, so I've won a couple PPA challengers in singles. So those have been great. I think we got fourth in our last one, so that might be the best that we've done doubles wise. We have Nick Romano and I have gotten like fifth or sixth in an APP. So right around in a pro event. But yeah, I've had a majority of my results in singles, so have all the medals in singles right now on the Challenger Tour, as well as a mixed bronze with Monica Wynn also. So yeah, those are kind of some of my better results, I would say.
And we talked about your feeling after you got smoked in that one match. What's the feeling like when you do well in a tournament?
Oh yeah, it's great. I mean, you have to savor it for as long as you can. It's definitely a really good feeling to be undefeated in a tournament. I think, it's kind of a vindication and just showing that, the work is kind of paying off in some of those aspects. So it's a very good feeling. And you have to enjoy it as long as you can. At the challengers, it's hard to enjoy sometimes because you're walking off the court at 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening, and then you have to wake up at 6 a.m. to go play doubles the next day. So you can kind of enjoy it for the evening, and then it's back to business the next day and trying to get ready to go.
All right, and Connor, your career's going so well, you're picking up sponsors. So how did that come about? Did you approach them? They approach you and talk about who you're working with?
Yeah, so I'm working with Elders Helpers. We have a team of us up in Grand Rapids. Myself, Monica Wynn, Caden Young, and Jace Land here. So we are kind of trying to make a unique spin on some of the pickleball, like pro pickleball landscape, I guess, because it can get kind of lonely out there. And also at home, we want to try to support each other. So a majority of what we're doing, we're just drilling with each other a couple days a week. And so that really kind of builds our skill set and allows us to kind of sharpen each other up, and then also builds kind of that team camaraderie of results and how you doing here and where you going next sort of thing. So it's a great resource that we have. So Elders Helpers has been great for us to allow us to do that. And they're a West Michigan-based company. They provide a lot of services for folks who want to stay in their home that are getting a little older, and they have a number of services, including you can have someone come over and cook and clean for you, and kind of provide some companionship, and all the way up to licensed nurses who can come over and administer medication and do all that sort of thing. So it's a great resource for folks who want to stay in their home and be safe in their home versus kind of going into a nursing home or assisted living type of thing. So yeah, it's been great. They've been awesome to work with. And so I think pickleball is a great market for them, because there are so many people that are playing that are a little older. And
all right. And Connor, final question for you. You mentioned that you're teaching. Talk a little bit about that, how that works, and what kind of an instructor are you, and what are you trying to get your students to learn?
Yeah, I'm a IFP certified instructor. I'm trying to get my students to kind of achieve their goals, and I have a lot of students that are trying to reach a certain duper, whether they're trying to reach 4.5 or 5.0, or they're trying to work on certain shots. I'm trying to help them achieve their goals, but I also want to think outside the box with them a little bit, and kind of not necessarily just conform to where pickleball kind of was, or started out to be. The game's changing a lot with different balls and different paddles, and with more players coming in that have more power, and so we need to be able to kind of match that pace and be able to handle it. And we also need to be more offensive with some of these paddles and balls that are coming into play. So I'm really trying to think outside the box with students about how they can use their weapons to go win points, and then also kind of helping them achieve their goals as far as ratings and tournaments along the way, I guess.
All right, Connor, before I let you go, in your wildest dreams, you ever think that you would be a professional and that you could make a living and you could teach and have fun like this?
I didn't think so. I had a couple pickleball classes when I was the pro in the tennis pro at the Jackson Country Club, and no one really showed up to them. So I kind of thought it was stupid for a while, and it didn't really catch on to me until after college. So no, I definitely didn't think that far.
We've been talking with Connor Mogle. He's out of the Jackson area, resides in Grand Rapids now. He is professional instructor as well as professional player. You can follow him definitely online. Connor, we appreciate you so much. Thanks so much for your time, sir, and good luck. We got to get out there and see you play.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. Also, shameless plug for my my Substack. It's just my first and last name, Connor Mogle at Substack.com. You can follow my whole journey. It's a free newsletter, so go check that out.
And we want to thank our listeners. This is Pickleball Michigan and Beyond. Benjamin Robinson is our producer. I'm Tony Conley. You can follow us on YouTube, SoundCloud, at our website, pickleballmichiganandbeyond.com. And we will talk to you soon. Thanks so much.
Thanks for listening to Pickleball Michigan and Beyond. Follow us on Facebook and check out our website, pickleballmichiganandbeyond.com.
It's on Reno Sports Bar and Grill. When you come to Reno's, you better come to play. Dine and have a great time any night or day. It's on, we beat the rest. A great time is on tap. It's on, northeast and west, you'll find us on the map.